Let's talk about her, the woman he still thinks about. Months later, years later, even when he's moved on, she lingers. Not because she's the most beautiful, not because she played games, but because she had something. Something most women don't even realize they're missing. The kind of emotional fingerprint that doesn't fade. Today we're unpacking 7 powerful traits that make you his forever fantasy, the kind of woman he compares everyone else to. And no, these aren't your typical just be confident cliches. These are the rare qualities that men feel deep in their bones, but can never fully explain. Let's decode the mystery, shall we? The secret lens men use. Here's something most women never hear. Men fall in love through a different door. Not always the door of logic, not even just the door of beauty, but through the quiet, powerful moments when he feels emotionally understood, psychologically respected, and yes, challenged in just the right way. And no, he won't say it out loud. He probably doesn't even consciously realize it. But there's a lens every man subconsciously uses when he meets a woman. Could I be fully myself with her and still feel deeply desired? The women who check that box, they become unforgettable. Let's dive into the first trait that flips that switch in his brain. Trait 1, loyalty that feels real. This isn't about blind devotion or ride or die drama. This is conscious loyalty, the kind that makes a man feel chosen, not trapped. Here's what most people miss. A woman who is loyal because she has no options isn't inspiring, but a woman who can have anyone, who's magnetic, self-sufficient, emotionally rich, and she still chooses him. So that's the kind of loyalty that hits different. It makes a man feel like a king, but not one who demands loyalty, one who earns it. Because he knows she's not loyal out of fear or obligation. She's loyal out of alignment. And when a man senses that, he instantly categorizes you as the one I build with. Trait 2, intellectual curiosity. Listen, she doesn't have to know quantum physics, but if she asks questions that make him think, feel, or reframe something in a way no one else has, he's hooked. Intellectual curiosity isn't about being book smart. It's about being alive, mentally, emotionally, conversationally. She's the woman who reads weird facts at 2 a.m., who asks, "Do you ever wonder why we dream?" Who doesn't just listen, but listens deeply, then builds on the thought. This kind of curiosity isn't just attractive, it's dangerously magnetic. Because here's the truth. Most men live in a world where people talk at them, not with them. A curious woman feels like a rare oasis in a desert of surface-level connections. She challenges his mind while making him feel safe to explore his own. And that's not just sexy, it's unforgettable. Trait 3, feminine warmth. Men crave safety too, but they rarely know how to ask for it, and even more rarely know where to find it. Feminine warmth isn't about being submissive. It's about being open, emotionally present, and comforting in a world that feels cold and chaotic. She's the one whose energy makes his shoulders drop. She walks into a room, and suddenly he forgets about the stress, the noise, the world trying to turn him into stone. Her presence isn't loud, but it's felt. She doesn't try to be sexy, she just is, because she radiates emotional oxygen. Here's the wild part. A man can meet 100 women who look good, but if just one of them makes him feel emotionally at peace, like he's home, that woman becomes sacred in his memory, not because she's trying to mother him, but because her warmth gives him space to be human again. And once he tastes that feeling, he starts craving her, not the idea of her, her presence. Trait 4, sensual intelligence. Let's get something straight. Sensuality unequals seduction. A woman with sensual intelligence isn't trying to perform for him. She's in tune with her own body, her voice, her movements, her pauses, and most importantly, his responses. She's the one who knows when to lean in and when to leave a little space. She knows how to graze his arm in a way that feels casual and yet electrifies him. Her voice slows just enough when she's making a point. Her eyes linger just a second longer. And here's what makes it a superpower. She's not doing it to get him. She's doing it because she's comfortable with herself. And that comfort makes him forget every checklist he ever had. Because in a world full of try-hard sexy, a woman who embodies sensuality from a place of grounded confidence, she doesn't just capture his attention, she owns his imagination. Trait 5, unshakable authenticity. You know that woman who just is herself? No filters, no personas, no desperate attempts to impress. She's the same at dinner, at home, and at 3 a.m. in sweatpants. She's real. And that realness becomes a kind of emotional oxygen. Here's the thing most women don't realize. Men are bombarded by performance, social media personas, dates that feel like job interviews, people trying to become someone they think he'll like. So when he meets a woman who isn't editing her essence, a woman who knows who she is, flaws and all, she instantly becomes the safest space he's ever known. Unshakable authenticity isn't about being loud or blunt. It's about being grounded, true, and unapologetically you. And once he feels that, he stops comparing, because now he's not just attracted, he's emotionally anchored. Trait 6, deep empathy with boundaries. This one is rare. Empathy by itself is beautiful, but empathy with boundaries? That's goddess level. She feels his pain, understands his silence, senses his energy shifts, but she doesn't lose herself in it. She doesn't try to rescue him. She doesn't become his emotional sponge. Instead, she says with her energy, I see you, I'm here, but I won't lose me to love you. That kind of emotional presence is magnetic to men. Because while they long to be understood, they respect a woman who still holds her ground. She's nurturing but not needy. She's available but not absorbing. And that balance, that rare emotional mastery, it makes her unforgettable. She's not the woman who loses herself in a man. She's the one who helps him find himself, while staying firmly rooted in who she is. Trait 7, the ability to see him. This is the trait that seals the deal. She doesn't just see his achievements. She sees him, the man behind the masks. She sees the boy who had to grow up too fast, the dreams he's too scared to say out loud, the shame he hides under strength, the softness under his sharp edges. And she never uses what she sees as a weapon. When she looks at him, it's not judgment, it's recognition. It's as if her presence whispers, you don't have to impress me, I already see you. And that moment, that soul recognition, is what locks her into his psyche forever. Because in a world that keeps telling him to be tougher, stronger, colder, she becomes the only place where he's allowed to just be. And when a man feels seen that deeply, he never forgets the woman who gave him that gift. One morning, here's where some women slip up. They try to fake these traits, act warm, act curious, act sensual, pretend to see him. But men, especially the emotionally intelligent ones, they can feel when it's a performance, not a presence. These traits aren't about putting on a mask. They're about becoming deeply connected to yourself first, so you can show up in a way that's real, magnetic, and naturally unforgettable. So don't perform, become. That's how you become the woman he fantasizes about for life, not just a moment. Which of these traits do you already have, and which are you ready to own? Drop it in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for what truly captures a man's heart.